Hi guys! Today I am reviewing the Too Faced Country palette. Too Faced did just come out with some new palettes. This one is kind of part of a collection. The other one was the Rock and Roll palette, and then they also released the Cat Eyes palette. I didn't see the Cat Eyes palette, I did see the Rock and Roll one, but decided the country one was probably a little bit more to my taste. I will talk about the Rock and Roll one a little bit at the end because we did get it in at work and I did kind of play with it a little bit, so I have a little bit of an opinion on it. But overall, for the packaging for the country palette, I think it's super cute actually. I really like it. If I can get close here, it is like a blue denim, and then the sides and top it's like lace, and then this is a rose gold trim, and the word country is in pink. There's little hearts and stars, so it's very cute and girly and I really like it. When you actually open it up, it's kind of cute too. It says, "Can I get a yeehaw?" And then this is what the palette looks like inside, and it's very similar again. Blue denim, rose gold detailing, pink hearts, stars, and then the lace on the back here. So, and the one thing I did notice about this palette is it is actually metal. I think the older Too Faced palettes were in like a cardboard, I don't want to say cardboard box, but it was made out of like cardboard instead of metal. So this is a lot better for traveling. So definitely more sturdy. And I'm just going to read you what it says here on the back. Grab yourself a mason jar of sweet tea and fall hard for Music City glamour, where the Southern capital's charm is captured in 9 Nashville nudes with a sparkling pop of color for a look that, just like your cowboy boots, goes with everything. This country collection comes with our signature glamour guide with 3 beauty looks to get you started. So that's just kind of what it says on the back. And it is a magnetic closure, which I'm usually not a huge fan of, but I feel like this one's pretty sturdy. I've been kind of lightly traveling with it for the last week, and I had some bobby pins in with it, and it actually was in the box, and the bobby pins were sticking to the underside of the box because of the magnetic closure. So I feel like the magnetic closure is actually pretty strong. I always worry about it coming open. So you do open it up, and then there is this little book, and there are your shades. And there is 9. If you've bought a Too Faced palette before, this isn't really anything new, where the first 3 are really big and they're usually neutrals, and then there is 6 smaller, usually more colorful colors. So you can pop this little thing out, and there is a mirror there, so that is nice for traveling too. But I'll show you what the little guide is, and it has that same thing, "Can I get a yeehaw?" So you go ahead and open that, and then there are your looks. There is the day one, the classic one, and your fashion one. And then when it's all folded open, there are directions in there for how to get each look. So it is really nice, and again, that day, classic, fashion thing isn't really anything new to the Too Faced line if you've bought their palettes before. So let's go ahead and talk about the colors. The first one for the day look, this one is Cowboy Take Me Away. This one right here is Y'all. This one here is Dolly. Famous in a Small Town. Paper Roses. Rhinestone. All American Girl. Nashville. And Bluebird. And then I actually do have them swatched on my hand, so we can kind of go through them too. So I'm going to go ahead and start with, in the day look, Cowboy Take Me Away. In the look, I believe it's supposed to be put all over your lid and as your brow bone highlight. For me, being really, really fair, it's too dark. But I will show you the swatch of it. You can kind of see it there. It is kind of that pinky nude color. It's very, very pretty, and I actually like to use it as a transition color. So really blend it up into my crease, but for me, it's too dark to actually use as like a brow bone highlight. But it's a very pretty color. I think I heard someone say it's a matte, but I don't know if the camera's gonna pick up on this. There is a really, really slight sheen to it, so I think of it kind of being as almost like a satin, because Virgin from Urban Decay to me kind of has that same sheen a little bit. So it's not quite matte, but it's not quite a shimmer either, so satin. The next one is Y'all, and this one is kind of a pretty gold champagne color. It's right there in the middle of this row here. Oop, right there. The only thing with this one, and the camera picks up a little bit, is it has glitter in it. If you've ever used the Urban Decay old formula, it has glitter in it. It's very similar feeling. It's not as smooth, it kind of feels a little bit gritty, and the glitter can cause some fallout. So there is kind of that issue. That one, it's not my favorite, and I usually have to wear an eyeshadow base under it to get the kind of pigmentation that I want from that one. Otherwise, it just doesn't really show up very well. So next is Dolly, which is that dark brown. And there it is in that top spot in that last row. This one, the first time I swatched it and kind of played with it, it seemed like it had some gold glitter in it. Mine seems like the gold glitter is kind of disappearing. And I don't know if it'll even pick up on camera, but supposedly there kind of is gold glitter in it. It kind of disappears. I do have it on actually in my crease and outer V over here, and I don't see any glitter. So I'm actually kind of glad that that disappeared, because that is probably the most matte shade in this palette. So it's nice to actually have a matte shade. And that one actually is pretty creamy, no grittiness from the glitter or anything. So next is Famous in a Small Town, which is that highlight color for the classic look. And that is that middle one right there. This one actually does work for a highlight and brow bone color for me. It's very, very pretty. That one, it could also be kind of a satin finish. It's a little more shimmery than Cowboy Take Me Away, and it's very, very smooth. So next would be Paper Roses, which is that pink one. And it also has like a gold duochrome to it. So that is it right there. I don't know if I can get the gold duochrome to kind of show up. Well, you can kind of see it. This one I was a little disappointed with, and I think it is one color that people buy the palette specifically for, because it can be kind of a unique color. But when I put it on my lids for the first time, it was slightly pink with a very, like the gold duochrome just almost completely knocked it out. Like you couldn't see the pink. I did build it up though on my lid when I did wear it, and it came out more pink. So it's possible, but it takes a little work, and I don't know if I like that. So next is Rhinestone, which is kind of a gray purple color, and I think it does have some glitter in it. At least got some shimmer. This one is kind of nice though, because it is very, very smooth. And it's there, right there. This one though, it's not the most pigmented. It's smooth, but it's definitely not the most pigmented one in the palette. When I wore it, it did take a little bit of building up again. So again, a little disappointing, but it is a nice color. And it's not, I would say it's kind of unique being like a gray purple. So next, lastly, is the Fashion Row, and this is All American Girl. And it is that bottom one right there. That one's got a lot of sheen to it. It's kind of like a silvery, icy white color. It's very, very pretty though as an inner corner highlight. Definitely one of my favorites from the palette, and again, very smooth in texture. So next is Nashville, which is that blue-gray there. And there it is right there in the middle. This one I like. It is pretty smooth in texture. I don't really have any complaints about this one. And then lastly, another color that I think really sold people on this palette is Bluebird. So Bluebird, sadly, it reminds me a ton of an old Urban Decay eyeshadow. Right there. If you've ever owned the Urban Decay eyeshadow Goddess before they changed their formula and discontinued some of their shadows, it reminds me a ton of that. I got Goddess as gratis once, and I just was like, oh, I'm never gonna wear this, and I gave it away. And then when I swatched this, I was like, this reminds me exactly of that. So it's a little disappointing. It's a little gritty feeling. It's actually really not the most pigmented. It looks really good when you swatch it on your finger. And it probably doesn't look too bad there, but it's, of course I wanted to swatch nice today, but any other time I've swatched it, it just doesn't look very good. Like you can see there. I just feel like that doesn't look, it just doesn't look very good. It's not very pigmented, but yet my finger still looks pretty good. So that one was a little bit disappointing. And again, it can be used. I've used it and it's really nice, but again, they take work. So, I mean, in the end, would I purchase this palette again? The shadows take work and it's something that I don't mind doing, but I think if you're looking for that smooth creaminess, Lorac or Urban Decay is going to be the way to go, and you're just not going to get that from this palette. But if you don't mind working with the shadows, I love that it's a very sweet, girly kind of feeling palette, and I really like the colors in it. Plus, like I said, Paper Roses is one of those colors, which is that pink one. I just haven't really seen anything like it with the pink, with the brighter pink with the gold duochrome. I have seen kind of a peachy pink with the gold duochrome, but that one's pretty unique to me. So overall, if I had to say I'd purchase it again, I would, because I don't mind working with the shadows, but I know some people would rather it just be easy. So then I would probably go with Urban Decay or Lorac. As for the Rock and Roll palette, I looked at that. I know there was a gold, and I think a green and a purple, and I feel like it was kind of the same thing. Some of the shadows were similar, like gritty shimmer colors, and I was like, I'm already going to be kind of working with these. I don't want another palette that I'm going to have to work a lot with. And I just also felt like it, I don't want to say it was similar to stuff I already have, but I guess that's kind of it. It was sort of similar to some stuff that I already have, or have similar colors in other palettes, and I just didn't see myself using that one a lot. Even though the Rock and Roll palette is probably, if it was redone, I think that one probably would have been more my taste and style. I don't know. I just ended up going with the Country one, and I really, really am glad that I did. As for the Cat Eyes one, I haven't seen that one yet, so maybe my Ulta will get it soon. I don't know, but overall, this palette's okay, not perfect. So if you're thinking about trying, I would go to the store, play with it, see what you think. Like I said, just be prepared to know that it is going to take a little bit of work sometimes to get what you want from it, but overall, I think it's okay. So see you guys next time. Bye. Hi guys, one thing I quickly forgot to add is I will have looks using the Country palette on my blog. I did about three different looks with this palette, so it does kind of follow how they are laid out with the day, classic, and fashion look, but I did kind of my own looks with them, not exactly 100% following the little guide that's in there. So that will be, my blog will be linked down below, and you can check out the looks that I did with this little palette. Now bye.